Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to give just a little short lecture talking about special populations that you may encounter and ethical issues that are involved in career counseling. So I want to explore the topic of special populations, specifically in ethical issues. So this is really relevant for those of you who are going to work with diverse and often marginalized groups. So that would mean I know that all of you guys aren't going to become like a quote career counselor, but those of you who are in schools and those of you who are in clinical mental health settings, you are going to, inevitably you're going to be working with these populations, possibly working with career related issues. So I want us to be kind of like on the same page so you're ready for that. So when I'm talking about special populations, I'm talking about groups that require tailored approaches due to their unique characteristics and their challenges. So these groups include individuals with disabilities, immigrants and refugees, the LGBTQ plus community, people, elderly people needing to go back to work, and addicts in rehab and convicts who are on parole or are post sentencing. So ethics plays a crucial role in counseling, especially when we're working with these groups. So ethical considerations ensure that we are conducting our assessments fairly, without bias, and that we are having the utmost respect for our clients' rights and dignity. So throughout the lecture that I'm going to do, we're going to cover the unique needs of the populations, the challenges that they face, and ethical issues that may arise. And also, I'm going to talk about strategies and best practices for conducting assessments in an ethically sound manner. So our goal is to approach our practice with inclusivity and sensitivity and ensure that we as counselors are giving the best possible care to all of our clients. So I have a few case studies of some special populations. The first one here is someone who has a disability, and that might be a physical, a cognitive, or a sensory disability. So common challenges that this population faces is finding suitable employment and making sure that it's accessible where they are working and overcoming any type of stigma that people may have from their disability. So let's say the scenario is we have a client with a cognitive disability and they're seeking a job that matches their abilities and their interests. So the ethical dilemma is ensuring the client's job placement is both supportive to them and also challenging with them. So best practices that you can use with individuals with disability is working with vocational rehabilitation services, identifying strengths and interests, and then advocating for workplace accommodations. The next one is going to be immigrants and refugees. One of the things that you will see with them is that they have cultural and linguistic diversity. And challenges are the language barriers, credential recognition if they're coming from another country, that to here to the United States, it may not, like if they're a doctor, it may not come over, or if they're a teacher, their certificate may not work here. So that's an issue. And then there's also cultural adjustment, because whenever anybody comes to a place that's different, it's going to take a while for you to feel comfortable there. So in our case study, we've got a refugee who has professional experience in their home country, but they are really struggling to find equivalent work in their new country. So the ethical dilemma is balancing respect for their previous professional identity, but then also being realistic about the job market. So you, as a career counselor, can provide language support, you can help with the credential evaluation, and you can help them by connecting them with community resources. Next one that we're going to look at is the LGBTQ plus population. Issues with them are sexual orientation and gender identity. So some common challenges that you're going to see in the workplace is discrimination, a lack of inclusive policies, and mental health issues related to identity. So in our case study, we have a transgender individual. They want to go into the workplace, but they are facing discrimination, and they are seeking a more inclusive environment. So the ethical dilemma for you would be navigating the client's disclosure of gender identity during the job search process. Best practices are supporting the client in finding an LGBTQ plus friendly employer, providing legal resources on discrimination, and of course, offering mental health support. Our next one is elderly clients. Common challenges that they're facing is ageism, career transition, and staying current with technology. So a case scenario is you have an elderly client and they want to enter the workforce after retirement, but they're facing age discrimination. And that's an ethical dilemma. How are you going to balance the client's experience and their desire to work with a potential employer, any biases that may come up there? So best practices are highlighting the client's experience and their skills, helping them update their resume and updating their tech skills, and identifying employers that are age friendly. Next up is addicts that are in rehab. Common challenges with this population are stigma. There may be gaps in employment history while they were receiving treatment. And also this can co-occur with other mental health issues. So in our case study, we have a client in recovery from substance abuse, and they need help finding a job after a long employment gap. So the dilemma is addressing the gap in employment without disclosing too much information about the client's past to the employer. So best practices would be focusing on transferable skills, preparing for potential questions about gaps, and then connecting them with supportive employers. And the last one we're going to look at is a convict that is on parole or that is in a post-sentence. Challenges here are stigma, legal barriers to the different types of work they want to do, and also there's going to be that lack of recent work experience that they're going to need to be able to have an explanation for. So in this study, we've got a parolee that seeks employment, but they're facing significant barriers due to their criminal record. So the ethical dilemma is, how do you balance honesty about the client's past with the need for them to secure employment? And best practices here will be providing training on interviewing skills, advocating for fair hiring practices, and connecting with employers who are open to hiring individuals with criminal records. And if you are a career counselor or you're just in, helping people find jobs in the community through your regular practice, it's always nice to kind of start creating yourself a resource list and know different people, like make connections in the community so that they know when you're sending someone to them that you will assist that person and support that person, and they will also receive support from the employers as well. So we have some key legal frameworks here. Understanding the legal frameworks that govern career counseling is something that's really essential, and it assures that we are providing equitable services to all clients. So the American Disabilities Act, which is the ADA, is super important. It prohibits discrimination and ensures equal access to career services for individuals who have disabilities. Another one is the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, and that plays a crucial role in enforcing laws against employment discrimination and refocusing the need for fairness in our counseling practices. Confidentiality is super important. It's paramount, especially under the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. And this act protects student records in an educational setting. We also have some key ethical frameworks here. Ethical guidelines, where are we looking for those? Of course, we have our American Counseling Association. We also have the National Career Development Association. They provide a framework for professional conduct, and they highlight the importance of client welfare, informed consent, and cultural competence. So by adhering to these ethical practices, we start to build trust with our clients. We are promoting equity in career opportunities, and we are navigating ethical dilemmas effectively. So supporting special population in career counseling, it takes a multifaceted approach. So let's look at some effective strategies. First, individualized assessment are crucial. We need to ensure that our assessment tools are accessible and tailored to each client's unique situation. And in our course, we looked at a lot of different websites and a lot of different tools that we can use. So as you're using those tools and you become more familiar with them, you'll be able to know which ones each would work well with particular clients. Cultural competence training helps us to understand the diverse backgrounds of our clients, and it allows us to provide relevant support. But advocacy really is the key. So by connecting clients and resources and educating them about their rights, we are empowering them in their job search. So creative and inclusive environment fosters trust and encourage our clients to express their concerns about identity and diversity in the workplace. So you want to be sure that you're using your basic counseling skills to establish rapport with that client so that they feel comfortable talking to you about different things that are going on in their career search. Another thing that's important is skill development. You need to work with your clients on their different skills. So offering targeted workshops can really help bridge gaps in knowledge and in confidence. And finally, ongoing support and follow-up are vital to help our clients feel confident and supported throughout their job search journey. So there are a few things that I want you to remember. So we've talked about the critical role of ethical practices in career counseling. So these practices not only build trust, but they also ensure that we're advocating for our clients' best interests. So as counselors, I want you to remain vigilant in understanding the unique needs of the special populations. And through that, you'll be able to provide effective support. Navigating ethical dilemmas is part of our responsibility, and real-world case studies help us to see how to apply these guidelines. There are a lot of books, there are a lot of ebooks in the ULM library, and if you type in career counseling or if you type in ethical case studies, it'll bring up ebooks for you that you can check out, and you can see some different case studies. So, always be committed to professional development and work on making environments that will that enhance our effectiveness as counselors. So I'm glad that you got to spend some time with me talking about special populations and ethics. Always, if you have any questions about something that I've talked about, you can always email me at moon@ulm.edu, and I am happy to help you out.